Well, shalom, everybody. I was hoping to bring this on the Sabbath. I just missed it by a couple minutes here, though. What I did do, though, is answer a dear sister of ours who needs prayers. Okay, she's a believer, and it shows by the things that take place in her life. I hope that you can take this correction I'm about to give you, Angela, with the love that our King intends. It's not to put you down at all. In fact, there's many who's going to be watching this video one day, I'm sure, and they're going to, also have the same stumbling blocks that you have right now. And it's not your fault. You just are not seeing what it is that you're actually saying. You don't understand what's going on because you're looking at it kind of backwards. So I hope you don't hate me when I tell you this, but I'll explain it to you. Here in the book Enoch, for instance, in chapter 104, chapters like 99 through these chapters here of the book Enoch speak of the 144,000, what we're going to do. What we'll say, the things that are done against us and such, which qualify those of the 144,000 to be of the 144,000, and we have a duty. I was sent here for you, Angela. I was sent here for Timothy P. and Margaret and Shul and everybody else. I pray that you keep all your brothers and sisters and prayer people. And this isn't just an answer to Angela. It's a thing that she brought out that many people feel right now is going on in their lives that are turning to the truth. But here in Enoch 105:1, and it's speaking, this is what Enoch is saying that our Father says about the 144,000 and what our duty is. It says, in those days, he says, Yahweh will be patient and cause the children of the earth to hear. It's not going on right now, as you see the views and the videos that I've been led to bring. Over 265 videos now I've brought. And I have around 165 lovely brothers and sisters there, or friends, that have actually subscribed to the site. Now we only need about, another 850 or so to have enough to have live chat going on YouTube, and that's further down the road. But I've had more people subscribing these last 2 months than ever before. It's a record. So I believe people are starting to wake up and they're starting to hear, because Yahweh says here, Yahweh will be patient and cause the children of the earth to hear. And then he's saying specifically to me, it says, and the other 143,999 brothers I have out there, it says to us, reveal it to them, reveal it to you with our wisdom. For I am your guide, and I am a reward upon the whole earth. Okay, it's my life, my sufferings, my pains, my sorrows, all these things is a reward for you, because you don't have to go through these things. It should actually be a joy, my dear sister, when I'll explain here what I'm speaking of. Angela had wrote me here on this here site, Unholy TBHQ and Phosphates, Profane and Food. And I love her, man. She writes me all kinds of great stuff. But she got down here and she was talking about 19 hours ago. She says, I admit to it's not a problem for me. It's them that have the problem with me because I know as much as I do. I'm gifted and they do not like it, but I don't care. So then I answered back and I tried to convince her that she does care. And she wrote back and I made a big comment. Okay, I went down, I'll show you the scriptures, some of them that I did use, that I was going to answer her latest comment with. And I hit some button or something and it all vanished. And I'm like, okay, I guess I need to bring a video then instead. because this is something that people really need to grow to understand. And it's just perceptions right now. That's the problem. Why you feel this way. It's your perception of what's actually going on. And hopefully I'm going to be able to say the right words by our King leading me, that it will turn this around for you and you'll start rejoicing instead of what's taking place in your bullied life right now. Anyway, Angela wrote 10 hours ago. She says, you don't understand that I've been talking and talking and talking and crying and praying, and all they do is laugh at me in this neighborhood. So I don't care. Nothing I can do of the Most High has their eyes and ears closed. They also bully me, pick on me every day, and it's horrible, Angela. It's a horrible thing that it goes on, but it's such a blessing from our King. For me, it's a blessing that it's going on, because when it does, let's take a look at Matthew 5, verse 1. I want to show you what Scriptures has written, what's written in Scriptures for you, Angela, to show me that you're a believer. Okay, this is words for you, because when you see these things, it should make you rejoice instead of what's going on. Because when our King called you out and you were received, and you accepted what our King has in store for you, then there are promises for those that are going to end up walking just like our King walks. And you don't see that right now, because you may have needed me here for, this one lesson, because I'm a guide. Okay, it talks about in the wisdom that I've been granted, and the reason I have this wisdom, Angela, is because I've been through it. I mean, I've had people hate me, and I've had people try to stone me before. Okay, and it really freaked a lot of people out. They had me up against the wall, and they were throwing these rocks, and they're coming right straight at me, and they just whip off to the side, up or down. I never got hit by one, and after, about 30 rocks had been thrown and right straight at me and missing every time, people started screaming and running away. They saw what they were doing, and the Holy Malachim, they were sparing me from, having my eyes knocked out or whatever, killed. But they've tried these things, and I, too, had a real problem thinking that I was just hated by everybody, and it wasn't joyous at all. But it took years of this suffering before I finally had the blinders taken off, and I could fully see the true joy in our persecutions. Because when you are, it's because our King wrote about you. And he said these things are going to take place. Here in Matthew 5:1, it says, and seeing the multitudes, he went up on a mountain. And when he was seated, his disciples came to him. Then he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, blessed are the poor in spirit. Angela, are you going to tell me that you're not poor in spirit? No, my friend. If you're weeping and you're finding no joy because of the shape that this world is in and how they treat you, one who loves our King so much that you try to teach others the truth to save them. And the only reason you do that, the only reason you're talking and talking and talking is because you do care. It's something that's in us. And sometimes it's hidden, behind walls that we build up in ourselves. But our King is speaking here of you. He says, blessed are you, Angela, the poor in spirit, and you, Timothy P., and you, Margaret, and Shul, and all the brothers and sisters out there that are awake at this time or going to be awakened shortly. These things are spoken of us all. I've just been through it, and I see it clearly, so I can help you see these things. Because you're poor in spirit, yours is the kingdom of heaven. It says, blessed are those who mourn, and didn't you just say over here, you're talking and talking and talking and crying, you're mourning, girl. Sorry, I didn't mean to. It slipped. I'm not going to redo the video because of that. I apologize for calling you girl there. You're a wonderful young lady that needs to know these things, and it's just a mannerism that I have in my speech. When I talk to females, sometimes I call them girls. It's not at all, meant to belittle you or anything, because you're nothing but up on a pedestal in my sight. But anyway, it says here, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. See, you're having a horrible time right now, but you're going to be comforted, and you might be comforted today. When you finish this video, you may feel the comfort coming in, because you know the things that I'm going to speak are true. And if you don't believe it, you need to go back and prove it for yourself. Here it says, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for our Father's commandments and his laws, to walk just like our King. You're doing that. And blessed are you when you hunger and thirst for righteousness, for you shall be filled. And that's what's taking place. And blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. And I brought out videos, that talked about judging. And when we judge someone with mercy, the same judgment's going to be used on us. And we're going to be shown mercy as well. And that's why it says we have to forgive. Even our King, he laid down his life for us. And, one of the last things he spoke before he was put into the tomb was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And these people that are picking on you, and they're not listening, and they're making fun of you, and doing these horrible things to make you cry, it's from our King. He wants you to bless these people. And we'll show that here shortly. It says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Yahweh. Blessed are the peacemakers. See, now, that's what you were called out to be, as a peacemaker. This whole entire world, the universe, is created just for you, Angela. It was created just for you, Timothy. It was created just for you, Margaret, and just for you, Shul, and just for me. And all these wicked and evil people that was created to come against us and test us and try us and belittle us and bully us were created for us to somehow bring peace to them, to not be a threat to them, not to hate them with a cause. We've got plenty of cause to hate them, but we're not going to hate them. We're going to feel sorry for them. We're going to pray for them, because they have no understanding. They were created to come against you and to come against me. But you have to be this peacemaker, and beautiful will your feet be when you are. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons and daughters of Yahweh. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. If you're persecuted because you no longer eat clams, or no longer eat possums, or skunks, or pigs, or catfish, or any of the unclean things, you no longer break these laws, and they pick on you and curse you because of it. It's a spiritual thing. People can feel, it's like when someone really dark walks into a room, their spirit is just so dark that you feel this chill just emanating through the room. And other times people will walk in and the whole room will light up. It's a spiritual kind of thing, an aura, I guess you can say, that we start putting on. This is part of the armor. When we start putting on the helmet, and taking the sword of truth, all these things, and we start putting them on ourselves, people will persecute us because they know we're different. We're light, they're dark. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they revile and persecute you and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my sake. It's a different sake, if you're out there doing stupid things and they're persecuting you for doing stupid things. You know, that's not what this is speaking of. And I don't see you out there doing anything stupid. You're out there setting the right example, and that's why they revile you and persecute you. They say all kinds of evil against you falsely. You're blessed. Our King wrote about you right here. Or he had Holy Spirit through the hand of Matithia write about you right here. Now what's he say about this? He doesn't say go off and just keep on crying. Sure, you go through that process a little, but now I've been sent to help you see it in a different perspective. You don't want the woe is me that you're looking through. You're looking through the woe is me telescope right now. Man, oh, everything goes against me, that kind of thing. What we're going to do is the woe is me telescope, we're going to turn around to the blessed I am, blessed you are perspective here. Blessed are you when they revile and persecute you and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. And why? For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. You know, this isn't something that's just on you, my friend, my sister, my brothers. It's not just something on you. Please read this entire chapter. You know, down here it shows Matithia 5:46. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. And yes, we can become perfect. What makes one perfect is where King David wrote in Psalms 19, and he talked about the law is perfect. It converts the soul. And even when our King was on the earth teaching his disciples, he told Kepha, he's like, hey, Kepha, when you are converted, because Kepha wasn't keeping the laws and commandments the way they should have been. That's why our King came to show us how to do it in love. Love the laws and commandments so we wouldn't need sacrifice for sin. I mean, when you sin, you hate the law. And we don't do that anymore on purpose. But we need to love everybody. Hate what they do, start forgiving. And that's where, you know, a lot of us fall short, is in the forgiveness. We need to get to the point where we even forgive Satan, the devil, and she'll flee. When you forgive bullies, when you thank them, even when you see them on the street and they call you nasty names, say, hey, thank you. Our King, he wrote that you would do that because he loves me. Thank you, thank you. Is there something else you can say? Can I help you think up some things, you know? And after a while, when a bully is bullying you and seeing that you love it, you know, it's what I need for breakfast. At least I know that this is how the prophets of old was treated. I'm being treated this way, so I've got to be walking in the right path. That's the way to look through that and how blessed you are. Like it says here in Luke 6:32, but if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. And if you do right to those who do right to you, what credit is that to you? For the sinners even do the same. We got to be merciful and kind to everybody, regardless how bad that they come against us. It's horrible that they do, but I want you to understand you're not a bastard. You know, please don't click it off just because I said bastard, because I'm going to read bastard right here in the scriptures, and I'm going to show you Angela and Timothy and Shul and Margaret and Bob and Bill and Yakinan and every one of you out there, that if you're keeping these laws and commandments and you're being picked on and bullied and hated, well, greater you. Greater you. Watch this. Here in Hebrews 12:5 it says, "And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children." And that's how you have to come in the kingdom. You have to forget all the old ways you thought and looked at things. And you got to come in as a child and learn everything over. We've been nothing but lied to our whole lives. We don't need to hold grudges. We don't need to be angry with people. And if you are, don't sin. Don't get even or these kinds of things. I know I've seen people throw away their entire salvation just getting even with me when I did them no harm. But they sure got even with me. They'll show me, boy, and they did, and I pray for them. But what can I do? They've gone absolutely against the scriptures. And here it says, "My son, despise not you the chastening of Yahweh, nor faint when you are rebuked of him." Or Yeshua now. It says, "For whom Yahweh loves, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son and daughter whom he receives." If you endure chastening, if you endure your butt whooping and all these people coming against you that our king has sent, he told Satan, "Hey, have you checked out Angela down there, man? She loves me. She's keeping my laws and commandments. What do you think of that, Satan?" So Satan goes down there and gets all these people to come up and call you all kinds of bad things and smelly and, oh, look at that old fart. And, old actually means wise. So if they're calling you an old whatever, it means that you're wise, and accept it and say, "Thank you, I appreciate that." But anyway, it says, if you endure all these things that's being cast against you, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons and daughters. For what son or daughter is he whom the Father chastises not? But, Angela, if you be without chastisement, if you be without these people coming against you and wanting to kill you even, if you don't have this going on, like it says here, "But if you be without this going on, whereof all are partakers," all those who believe will partake in this. I'm just a guide to try to show you there's a brighter light than the misery that you're in right now, and just change around the way you're looking at things right now, and you'll care, and you'll love more than ever, and you'll rejoice instead of this mourning. It's time to quit mourning so much over this world and what they do to us, and start rejoicing in our King, because he spoke about us. It says right here, "But if you be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then you'd be a bastard and not a son or a daughter." Okay, so rejoice, Angela. This is a marvelous blessing that these people are bestowing on you for our King's name's sake. He loves you enough to let you build character in you to where it's not going to matter. You're going to see where they're sinning, and you're going to ask that they be forgiven. And they're going to be sinning against you, and you need to forgive them for it. And forgive Satan. After a while, the bullies will flee. When they see they got, everything they do is like throwing a ping pong ball up against a Sherman tank. Patink, patink. As if it's going to bother you. And you thank them and bless them for it. They're going to leave you alone, my dear. And they're going to start thinking of you in a whole different light and saying, "Man, there's something peculiar about that woman. I just do not understand, but you're here to help." And you can't help, when you're really needing the help, because you've got these horrible feelings inside, inadequate feelings. It builds up and it pushes you down, but you've been set free. And we're supposed to start living what we believe. And I'm sure you can see what I was saying here is true. And it's not just you, Angela, like I say, it's each and every one of us that haven't got over this hump yet. And it's part of the 7 churches and Revelations. These things we have to overcome so that we can see the truth and the light. We have to be that light that's on the hill, and In those one day, when the 144,000 are sealed, and even though you're not a man, Angela, thing is, you're still going to be a teacher. I'm sure of that. Whether you're going to be teaching people how to cook or whatever, and scriptures behind it, you'll be teaching women, whatever. There's a lot of things that the women will have to be taught that men really don't want to bring out to the women, especially in mixed company and that sort of thing. You're going to be used, and you're used already, but you got to get away from that woe is me outlook and turn it around and put on that blessed is me, and you'll see the difference in your life. Our King loves you. I love you. He loves you more, but he's had, about 2,000 years more practice of keeping these laws and commandments so that he could love you better. I'm working at that. And besides, I don't want all them tears and the old snot dripping in the mashed potatoes when I ask you to pass them to me. So you really need to start putting on the smile. You're a wonderful woman. Our King knows you. Our Father loved you. He wrote about you and planned you and your life before you were even born. Before the foundations of the heaven and the earth were even laid, he knew you and wrote about you. He's got your name written in the book of life. And all he did was send me here so I could help you get over some of these hurdles. I can't save you. You got to save yourself. This should help you, I hope. I hope you don't hate me. I hope none of you hate me because of what I just brought out. But it's something that we all need to go through. Everybody's going to be a partaker of these very things. And, like Enoch said, I'm just here as a guide. And how is it I'm a guide? Because I've been through it all. Just about everything I've been through. I've had cancers, I've lost loved ones. I've been burned out and bulldozed and beaten, and I've been electrocuted. I've been drowned a couple times. Yeah, I've been through it. I know these stumbling blocks and such. And that's what I'm here for, is to help you over these humps. And if you can humble yourself and pray, then our Father will heal you, and he'll heal our land. If you will just humble yourselves and pray. And I'm praying for you. I pray that you'll pray for me too. I love you all. Any questions, please do write. Angela, I think hopefully tonight you'll sleep a whole lot better, my dear lady. And looking forward to hear more from you. Shalom, everybody. And may our King heal us all soon. Shalom.